Hello friends and welcome to Digiimento. So we will continue our discussion from yesterday. We were discussing about the multilateral environmental agreements, acts and policies. So we'll continue our discussion. I hope you have joined the classes. If you have, please do let me know by sending a hi, hello. And if you are preparing for GATE, NTA, UGC NET or PGT Computer Science, we are providing online courses. And you can know the details about the same from our website www.digiimento.com, or you can call to this number. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and please press the bell icon for getting the notifications, and share this video with your friends if you like it. So let's begin, but I'm just waiting for others to join. So if you have joined the classes, please do let me know. Send me a hi, hello. Hi Pooja, hi Senthil, hi Ramesh, hi Gajalakshmi. So I'm waiting for others also. Okay. So by that time, if you have any doubts or clarifications, you can just go through and you can let me know from yesterday's lecture. And also one more thing that yesterday, in between I was about to wind up the classes, and then what happened in between, the internet connection got some issues. So that's why I had to, stop the classes in between. I'm really sorry for that. So if you have any doubts, please do let me know. Okay. Yeah, others have also joined. Hi Rani. Hi Pratibha, Pooja, hello, hi Atira. So I think we will just start the class because I think so many of you have joined. So we will just start, okay. If you have any doubts from whatever we have learned till yesterday, you can let me know, okay. Rani said all are clear. So Pooja is asking me, is this the last lesson? Yes, this is the last one, and we will wind it up by tomorrow also. We will finish this topic by tomorrow, okay? So, any doubts? Otherwise, if it's clear for you, then also let me know. Hi Puviri, hi Lipika. Okay, so Lipika, were you there for the yesterday's class? I think you did not attend. I don't know. I don't actually remember. So, you were there or not? Clear. Senthil also, it's clear. Okay. So, yeah. So, multilateral environmental agreements, we were taking up that. Pratibha is asking me, can you solve previous year papers? Yes, from day after tomorrow, we are solving the previous year papers. By tomorrow, we will finish this, we will solve, and simultaneously, I will also take unit 10, okay? That also I'll be taking, but day after tomorrow onwards, we are starting with previous year papers. So before the exams, we will try to finish this ecology, this particular unit 9, we will finish the last 10 years. And apart from that, at least last 3-4 years, we will finish it off. Okay. All the questions. So, yeah. That's okay, Pratibha. No need of thanking me. Actually, if you clear the exam, that is the biggest thing that I can get. So, promise me that you will clear the exam. You will try your best to clear the exam. Okay? Pratibha has commented that I'm teaching nice. Thank you so much, Pratibha. Thanks a lot. This is the biggest reward that a teacher can get. Two things. From your school days, you must have heard that blessings from the teachers is really worth, or something really great. But I believe it the other way also. Yes, definitely your teacher's blessing is something that is really worth, but other way also, if your students bless you, that is also a real happiness for a teacher. Thank you so much. Rani, yes ma'am, sure, we will crack it, keep supporting. Definitely, I'll definitely, not only me, the whole Digiimento team will be there to support you until you crack the exam, or even after that, whenever you need something that we can do for you, we are always there for you. That is for sure. We will always be there for you. And in life, all these small things matters the most. Relationships, the friends that you make and the people you meet, and the small help that you can do for your neighbors, your friends and the people around you. So all these things matters a lot. So yes, we will all be there for you. Okay, so I think we'll start today. Now, yesterday we were taking up the multilateral environmental agreements, and there we discussed about a few agreements. So we will just quickly recap all of them. The first one was CITES, and this was about the Convention on International Trade on Endangered Species. Next one, then we discussed about the 3 appendices of the CITES agreement. Then the Vienna Convention, which is for the protection of our ozone layer. Also, we have Montreal Protocol, which is again very, very important. Montreal is a place in Canada, and this protocol was signed there. That's why it is called the Montreal Protocol. So here also the purpose is to protect the ozone layer of the earth. Okay, and the most important feature of Montreal Protocol is that this is the only UN treaty that has been ratified by every country on the earth. And there is also a multilateral fund for the implementation of the Montreal Protocol, which was established in 1991. Then we have the Basel Convention of 1989, and the Basel Convention, this is regarding the control of transboundary movement of hazardous waste and their disposal. So transboundary movements of hazardous waste and their disposal. Yesterday I think we discussed about all that. Then next is the Rotterdam Convention. This is regarding POPs, the pesticides and the industrial chemicals. So it covers the pesticides and the industrial chemicals which are banned or severely restricted. So we discussed about the prior informed consent, the need for prior informed consent. So how it creates a legally binding obligation for the implementation of the prior informed consent procedure. And there are a total of 43 chemicals listed in Annex 3, and 32 out of this 43, they are pesticides and 11 are chemicals, industrial chemicals. So basically in this convention, the Rotterdam Convention, the pesticides and the industrial chemicals are included. Next is the Cartagena Protocol. The Cartagena Protocol is on biosafety to the Convention on Biological Diversity. So this is regarding biosafety. Here we discussed about the access benefit sharing, if you remember. Access to and the transfer of technologies. Not access benefit sharing, access to and the transfer of technologies, appropriate procedures to enhance the safety. So we discussed about the LMOs, living modified organisms. Next one is Stockholm Convention. This is regarding persistent organic pollutants. Then Nagoya Protocol. I'm sorry, I made it wrong. So Nagoya Protocol is regarding the access benefit sharing, access to genetic resources and the fair and equitable distribution. Next we discuss about the Minamata Convention, which is regarding the protection of human health and environment from mercury, from the negative impact of mercury. Here this convention aims to control the transboundary movement of mercury, but it does not include the natural emissions of mercury. Now Ramsar Convention also we discussed. This is regarding the protection of wetlands, and there is a Montreux record, and Montreux record has the list of the wetlands which are of national importance, where changes in the ecological characters have occurred in the past, are now occurring or likely to occur in the future. And in India currently there are 2 wetlands which are included in the Montreux record. This is very important for your exam. One is the Keoladeo National Park, which is in Rajasthan. The next one is the Loktak Lake in the Manipur. One is in this extreme east, that is in the northeast. Next one we have it in the west in Rajasthan. So Keoladeo National Park is also very important for the number of migrant species that visit the national park every year. So for that matter also Keoladeo National Park is very, very important. Okay. Next, today we will be taking up some important legislations. So some important legislations to protect the environment. First, we have the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. From the name itself, it is clear that this particular legislation is with regard to the protection of wildlife in India. Now, when we say legislation, I am giving you the basic idea also, because I suppose that most of you are not from the background, social studies background. So, you may not be knowing the basic things. That is why I am discussing the basic things also. If you don't want me to discuss about the basic things, you can definitely comment it over here so that I will skip the basic things. Okay, I am just trying to make things more clear for you. Now, the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 is an important legislation. Now, we need to know what is the meaning of the term legislation. Many times you must have heard about legislation in the newspapers or in the articles, etc. Now, for that we need to understand some basic things of polity and governance. So, first thing is, we have three organs of the government. One is legislature, second one is the executive, and the third one is the judiciary. So these three are the major organs of the government. Now, what is legislation or legislature? Legislation or legislature, it refers to all the representatives elected and the nominated representatives that form the government or the parliament at the national level and the state legislatures at the state level. In your state, there will be some MLAs. If you have a bicameral legislation in the state, you will also have members of legislative councils. But most of the states only have members of legislative assemblies. So all these members, they together form the legislature. Second one is the executive. Executive is that part of the government which is responsible for policy making. So here we call the executive as the Council of Ministers. At the state level, we have a Council of Ministers. Also at the national level, we have a Council of Ministers. And judiciary, we know in India we have an integrated and independent judiciary which consists of lower courts to the Supreme Court. So High Court and the Supreme Court are the constitutional courts. So High Court and the Supreme Court, these are the constitutional courts in India. Now legislature or legislative. So legislative means at the national level, all the members of the parliament, which means the members of Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, together they constitute the legislature at the national level. In the state level, the MLAs of your states and the MLCs, if you have the legislative council, constitute the legislature. Now, it is the legislature who is responsible for making laws for the country. Because you must have heard the parliament is responsible for passing the bills. So, bill is presented by the executive or the council of ministers mostly. Now, the legislature is responsible for making legislations. The law made by the legislature is called the legislation, and it is a law passed by the parliament, and then this law becomes an act of the parliament after receiving the assent from the president of the country. So this is called a act. So I gave you this basic idea about legislation because when I always say legislation, you must be thinking what it is. So it is nothing but it is a law passed by the parliament, and this law, after being passed in the parliament, the president have given his consent for the law, and then it becomes an act. This is called a legislation. So first important legislation with regard to environmental protection in India is the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Now, Wildlife Protection Act. From the term itself, it is clear that it is something related to the protection of wildlife in the country. So, it's related to the protection of wildlife. It provides the basic framework to ensure the protection and the management of wildlife. So, the Wildlife Protection Act, it provides the basic framework in order to ensure the protection and the management of wildlife in our country. How the wildlife in our country has to be protected. So this framework or the guideline is given by the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Okay. Next, the Act provides for the formation of wildlife advisory boards. Now, the responsibility of advisory boards. Advisory, the term itself says that it is to provide some advice. So, this advice will come in the form of certain recommendations. So, this advisory board is responsible for giving some recommendations to the government of India. And then we have the wildlife wardens, responsible warden. The purpose of a warden is to take care. Okay, wardens. Then it also specifies their powers and duties. And the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, it has helped India to become a party to the CITES. So CITES we have already discussed. It's the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. So it has helped India to become a party to the CITES. Now, let's come to the provisions of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. First of all, the Act has prohibited the hunting of endangered species. So, it has prohibited the hunting of endangered species. and it provides a comprehensive list of endangered wildlife of the country. So it provides a list of endangered wildlife, those wildlife or the wildlife animals which are endangered in the country. So it provides a comprehensive list of all the endangered wildlife of the country, and it has prohibited the hunting of endangered species. The Act also provides for licenses for the sale, transfer and the possession of some wildlife species, and scheduled animals are prohibited from being traded as per the Act's provisions. So this Act, Wildlife Protection Act, it provides for licenses for the sale, transfer and the possession of some wildlife species, and the scheduled animals. The scheduled animals are prohibited from being traded as per the provisions of the Act. And it also provides for the establishment of wildlife sanctuaries and the national parks. It provides for the establishment of wildlife sanctuaries and the national parks. Okay. Next one, the provisions of the Wildlife Protection Act has paved the way for the formation of Central Zoo Authority. So it is according to the provisions of the Wildlife Protection Act that we have constituted the Central Zoo Authority. And the National Board for Wildlife was constituted as a statutory organization under the provisions of the Act. So here we are discussing about some of the important bodies which were formed under this Act. So first one is the Central Zoo Authority. Second one is National Board for Wildlife. So National Board for Wildlife was constituted as a statutory organization. Now a statutory organization means organization or any authority which is formed as a result of a statute. Statute means law. It has statutory powers. It is backed up by a law. It has a backing by the law. So statutory organization under the provisions of this Act. And it also provided, third one is the establishment for National Tiger Conservation Authority, which is a very, very important authority. Okay. So these are the three important authorities which are formed as a result of the Wildlife Protection Act. So first one is Central Zoo Authority. Second one is National Board for Wildlife, and the third one is Conservation Authority. Any doubts? Please do let me know if you have any doubts. We will proceed further after clearing your doubts. Okay, there are 6 schedules provided in the Wildlife Protection Act. So we will look into this schedules. The first one is Schedule 1. Very important because this Schedule 1, it covers the most important species. Okay. Hi Sharon. So this Schedule 1 has the most important species which are given the highest level of protection. So it covers the endangered species. The species under this schedule are prohibited to be hunted throughout India, which means if a particular animal or a species is included in this Schedule 1, then this cannot be hunted anywhere in India except under threat to human life, but under certain exceptions. That is, if this animal poses certain threat to human life, then it can be killed. And this animals which are included in this schedule, the trade is prohibited completely. And these are some of the animals which are included in the Schedule 1. There are many animals. I have not included all of them, but I'll just tell you which are these animals. Okay, tiger, black buck, cheetah, clouded leopard, hornbills. So these are some of the animals which are included in the Schedule 1. So this schedule covers endangered species. The species under this schedule, they are prohibited to be hunted throughout India except if there is any threat to human life. So hunting tiger, it's a criminal offense and it can be killed only if it is posing a threat to the human life. Now in this Schedule 2, we have animals that are also given high level of protection, and their trade is also prohibited. They cannot be hunted except under threat to human life. So animals under the schedule 2, they are accorded high level of protection, and their trade is also prohibited, and they cannot be hunted under certain circumstances. Again, those circumstances which provide some threat to the human life. Okay, and the example is Bengal, Hanuman langur, large Indian civet, Indian fox, etc. So these are some of the animals which are included in the second schedule, and again in the second schedule high level of protection is provided to these animals. Then third one is schedule 3 and schedule 4. So under schedule 3 and 4 there are some species that are not endangered. So in case of schedule 1 and schedule 2, we will see that this schedules contains those species which are endangered, but the only difference is that the level of protection is even more higher for those species that are in schedule 1. So under schedule 3 and 4 there are some list of species that are not endangered, and it includes protected species, but the penalty for any violation is less compared to the first two schedules. So here we will see that the penalty is less. So if any species belonging to 1 and 2 schedules, if they are hunted, then the punishment or the penalty is very high, but comparatively in schedule 3 and 4 the penalty is comparatively less. And examples are hyena, Himalayan rat, flying fox, Malabar tree toad, etc. Now there is a question from Atul Patil. Does this act cover birds as well? Yes, it not all the birds, but certain birds are covered. And we have the schedule 5. It contains animals which can be hunted. So schedule 5, do not think that schedule 5 has certain species which is again given some protection, but it is that it can be hunted. So mice, rat, common crow, the crow that you see everywhere, the fruit bats, etc. So these species these are included in the schedule 5. So schedule 5 has the certain species or animals, we can say, which can be hunted, and schedule 6 contains those plants that are forbidden from cultivation. So in the schedule 6 we have certain plants which you cannot cultivate. Pitcher plant, blue vanda, another one is sandalwood you cannot cultivate. So the schedule 6 gives you some list of certain plants which you cannot cultivate. So this is about the 6 schedules in the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. If you have any doubts, please do ask me, because this is a very, very important topic to be covered for your examination. So we will just see and then we will proceed further. Trick for remembering. Okay. Okay, I'll give you a trick for remembering for this particular legislation you are asking, no? So Wildlife Protection Act, and these 3 authorities you have to remember it somehow. Schedule 2 list of animals. Actually, there are a lot of animals. I don't think you will get questions from schedule 2, 3 and all to name the animals and all. Maybe from schedule 1 you will get. The popular ones are like the ones I discussed: tiger, black buck, cheetah, clouded leopard, hornbill, etc. So these are the important ones in schedule 1. So that is all you have to remember. Now how you can remember the schedules? One easy trick is that there are total of 6 schedules as we discussed. So you can remember it this way. You can just club the first 2, okay, 1 and 2. So in 1 and 2 what is covered? Endangered species. Now in 3 and 4 together what is covered? It is non-endangered, which means the species which are not endangered, okay. So but the penalty is lesser, okay, penalty is less here. Now in schedule 5 you can remember it this way, that you can hunt them, no problem, you can go ahead, okay. Then 6th one, there are certain plants. In this 5 till 5 we have not discussed anything about the plants, but in 6th one we have the plants you cannot cultivate. Now there is a question, Pooja has asked me why are these plants forbidden from cultivation. This is especially because uh, these plants are of mostly these are of high value. Second thing, they are grown in the forest areas, so it can these requires groundwater. It will take up too much of groundwater. Then the commercial value of these plants are very high. So what happens, these plants are actually being cultivated in the wild, so it can impact or interrupt the agricultural activities. So that is why it's prohibited. And like plants like sandal and all, you cannot cultivate. Okay. This act of 1992 is latest, or any other act was passed after that? Actually, not new act, but amendments are being made. That means some provisions are added, some provisions are being deleted. So this is happening. Okay. Now, these are the 5 types of protected areas as provided under the Act. So, we will discuss the 5 protected areas, or the 5 types of protected areas. First one is wildlife sanctuaries. So, what are wildlife sanctuaries? They are naturally occurring areas where the endangered species are protected from poaching, hunting and predation. So wildlife sanctuary, so they are naturally occurring areas. That means they are protected within their habitat itself. Okay, these wildlife sanctuaries means the places, the naturally occurring areas where these endangered species are there. It is their natural habitat. For example, if there is a forest where we have this endangered species, these species are found naturally there, and therefore they are protected within their habitat itself from poaching, hunting and predation. Now, it's important to note that the wildlife sanctuaries are notified by the particular state governments by a notification, and very limited human activity is permitted. And this limited human activity also, this is related to research or something like that. Very limited human activity is permitted in the wildlife sanctuaries. And the boundaries of the sanctuaries are not generally fixed and defined. The biologists and the researchers are permitted inside so that they can study the area and their inhabitants. That is what we said. Research work is permitted inside the sanctuaries. Then the chief wildlife warden, who is the authority to control, manage and maintain the sanctuaries, can give permission to persons for entry or residence in the sanctuary for the study of wildlife, scientific research, photography, the transaction of any unlawful business with persons residing inside, and tourism. So for limited activities, permission can be granted, and this permission is given by the CWW, which is the Chief Wildlife Warden. Okay. The second protected area is the national park. So second one is the national park, and the purpose is to protect the natural environment of the area and the biodiversity conservation. So national parks, this is developed to protect the natural environment of the area and the biodiversity conservation, and it is declared by the state government again. So it is declared by the state government through a notifications. Now compared to wildlife sanctuary, the restrictions are more in the national parks. So in case of national park, there are more restrictions and no human activities allowed. But in case of wildlife sanctuary, we have seen that some human activities like photography, research, etc. were permitted. But here in case of national parks, no human activity is allowed. And no person shall destroy, remove or exploit any wildlife from a national park, or destroy or damage the habitat of any wild animal, or deprive any wild animal of its habitat within a national park. And they cannot be downgraded to the status of a sanctuary. So we here in case of national park, we will see that there is a high level of protection given. Next one is conservation reserves. The state governments may declare an area as a conservation reserve after consulting with the local community. So this is in consultation with local communities. So the state government can declare an area as a conservation reserve, and this can be done after consulting the local community. And conservation reserves, the level of protection is lesser compared to wildlife sanctuaries and national park. And there are community reserves. Here the state government can declare any private or community land as a community reserve after again consulting with the local community or an individual who has volunteered to conserve the wildlife in that area. Okay. Next one is tiger reserves. So these areas are reserved for the protection and conservation of tigers in India. So tiger reserves, because tigers are given a special place, and also that tigers, the protection is very high for the tigers, and we have also seen that they are included in the schedule 1. So the tiger reserves, these are areas reserved for the protection and the conservation of tigers in India, and they are declared on the recommendations of the National Tiger Conservation Authority. We have discussed about the NTCA also, National Tiger Conservation Authority. So tiger reserves are declared on the recommendation of Tiger Conservation Authority. Now if you have any doubts, we will clarify it and move further. Let me know. And one more thing, that you will be getting only basic questions from all these. You need not go into much details. So only basic questions we will get, and from day after tomorrow we will finish it off, and from day after tomorrow when we discuss the previous year questions, then you will understand. Only simple questions are asked. Okay, so you need not worry about the details of all this. Only the basic questions from these portions will be asked in your examination. Okay, so we'll continue. Next we will see biosphere reserve. Okay, so we will just start with biosphere reserves today, and tomorrow we will take it up in detail. So biosphere reserve, this designation as a biosphere reserve, okay, Rani, no doubt, Sharon, clear. Okay, so this designation as a biosphere reserve, it is given by UNESCO. So UNESCO will give this designation as a biosphere reserve, and it tries to balance economic as well as social development and maintenance of associated cultural values along with the preservation of nature. Now, giving the tag or the designation as a biosphere reserve, this is not just to protect the environment or not just to preserve the nature, but it is to provide a balance between economic development, economic plus social plus cultural plus ecological. So 4 components are there. So by giving a designation as a biosphere reserve, it means to provide economical, social, cultural and ecological importance or development. And these are the living examples of how the human beings and nature can coexist with respect to each other. So biosphere reserves are the very good example which shows how the human beings can live with the nature and coexist with the nature in a harmonious way by respecting each other's needs. We have seen that when the human activities increases, when the anthropogenic activities increases to a larger extent, this affects the ecology, and in return ecology or the environment also results or retaliates by providing some kind of negative impact on the human beings. So biosphere reserves are the living examples of how the human beings can be coexisting with the nature, and these are the biosphere reserves of India. Tomorrow we will see all of them in detail, but I will just show you. So we will start from the south. So we have the Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve. Then we have the Gulf of Mannar. Next we have the Nilgiri, which is in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. It's in the border of Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Then we have the Sheshachalam Biosphere Reserve. Then moving upwards we have the Simlipal Biosphere Reserve. Then we have Achnakamar Amarkandak Biosphere Reserve. Then we have Pachmarji Biosphere Reserve. Then we have the Kutch Reserve, which is in Gujarat. Then we have the Sundarbans in West Bengal. Here in Northeast India, we will see a lot of biosphere reserves. But before that, we have the Panna Biosphere Reserve, which is also a very important tiger reserve. So this is in Madhya Pradesh. Then in Northeast India, we have the Kanchenjunga. Then we have the Manas, which is in Assam. Then Dibru Salkova. Then we have the Nokrek. Then we have the Dehang Dibang. Then coming to the north, we have the Nanda Devi, which is in Uttarakhand. Then we have the Cold Desert Biosphere Reserve. Then these are, and we also have the Great Nicobar, which is in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So these are the biosphere reserves of India. Tomorrow we will take it up in detail. We will also see what is the structure of a biosphere reserve. Another important one is the Man and Biosphere Reserve Program of UNESCO, which will also be taken tomorrow. Then we will see some of the important ones. Then we will come to a very important legislation, that is the Environment Protection Act of 1986. Then we will see another one, Biological Diversity Act of 2002. Then we will come to National Action Plan on Climate Change and what are the 8 national missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. So that is it. So tomorrow we will wind up the session. We will discuss everything tomorrow, and then from day after tomorrow we will try to take up the previous year questions. And also if you have any doubts now, let me know. Another thing is regarding the PPTs. I have sent everything to the team and they have told me that they have uploaded all of them on Telegram channel. So if you have not joined the Telegram channel, please do join the Telegram channel. So I'll just tell you which are the Telegram channels. Digiimento Education is there. UGC NET Gate Live December 2020, that is there. So these are the 2 channels in which I am there. Also there is another one, NTA NET Gate Live Classes and Gate NTA NET Live 2020. So these are the 4 Telegram channels. Okay. So yeah, so these are the channels. Please join them if you have not joined, so that you will get the notifications. And if you have any doubts regarding the subject or any general doubts, you can put it now. I'll answer them. Pooja is asking me any other topic I'm taking. Yes, I'm planning to take Unit 10 also and the research methodology also. So these are the topics that I will be taking up. So yeah. So if you have any doubts, let me know. Otherwise, we will wind up for today, but definitely we will meet tomorrow the same time. So remember that now we will be having classes from 7:30 onwards, because you have a class at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7. Then you have the next class at 9 o'clock. So in between, as the team said, you need some break and all. So we will be having from 7:30 to 8:15 or maximum 8:20, 25. Before 8:30 I will leave you, because you have the next session at 9 o'clock. So before 8:30 I will be leaving you. So any doubts you can put it here. And Lipika has commented, PPTs are very important of your lectures because there are many things. Yes. So I hope you got all the PPTs. So thank you Atra and thank you Pooja. So yeah, I hope you got the PPTs. If not, let me know. I'll just talk to the team regarding that. And if you have any doubts, we will clear it off. And also maybe after finishing the previous year papers, or maybe after we finish at least some 4 to 5 years previous year papers, I will take a live session on, like, regarding the exam queries and all, like how to handle the stress and all that we will take up. One live session we will go for that. Okay. So yeah. I hope everything is clear for you. I'll see you again tomorrow. Please do take care. Study really well and have lots of water. Don't I think it's summer in many places, but at least in Kerala it's like very dry, so take lots of water, and it's very important. So take lots of water, have a very good sleep also. Don't get tensed and panicked about your exams. Study well, and God bless all of you. I'll meet you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. So hi friends, am I audible to you? Because I'm trying for the last 6-7 minutes to get connected. but there are some technical issues, I think. If I'm audible to you, please let me know. If I'm audible to you, please let me know, because from my end I'm trying, and then if I'm audible to you, please let me know, okay? And let me know if you are attending the classes. So, yeah, I'm trying to join the live streaming for the last 7-8 minutes, but then I think it's fine now. Okay. So, hello and welcome. So, today we will start the session, and yeah. So, we were discussing about the multilateral environmental agreements, acts, and the policies. Yesterday, I think we were taking up the important legislations, which we will continue today, and we will try to complete this module today, so that we will start with the previous year papers from tomorrow. We will try to complete it, okay? And if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon. We are providing online content for GATE, NTA, UGC NET and PGT Computer Science. You can avail the courses. For more details, you can visit our website, or you can call to this number. So, yeah, we will take a quick revision. I'm so sorry. So, if you have joined the classes, please let me know, so that we will continue. Hi Atira. Hi Lipika. Anybody else? Only 2 of you? Okay, so many have joined. Okay, there is a network issue from my side, that's why. Hi Pooja. Hi Puviri. Hi Senthil. Hi Rani. So there was a technical error, I think, from my side, that the live chat it was not getting updated. So I was thinking that you people have not joined. So I was just waiting, okay. So yeah, we were discussing about important legislations, and we have already completed multilateral agreements. So you can just quickly go through. Hi Sumati. Rotterdam Convention, Cartagena, Stockholm, Nagoya, Minamata Convention, Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, Montreux's Record. So yesterday we were discussing about the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. I hope you have revised it from your end. So we discussed about various schedules 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. Okay. And we also discussed about the 5 types of protected areas as provided under the Act. Yeah, I think we have discussed till biosphere reserves. So today we will start with biosphere reserves. I think we already had an introductory talk about biosphere reserves. So yeah, biosphere reserve. So this designation, this designation as a biosphere reserve is given by UNESCO, and it's an international designation. And it tries to balance economic and social development and maintenance of associated cultural values along with preservation of nature. This is what we said yesterday. Economic plus social plus cultural plus ecological or environmental. So all these values are preserved under the biosphere reserve. Hi Shamna, welcome to the class. So yeah, so biosphere reserve, it's an international designation which is given by UNESCO, and it also tries to balance economic, social development and maintenance of associated cultural values along with the preservation of nature. Okay, and the living examples of, they are the living examples of how the human beings and nature can coexist while respecting each other's needs. So how the human beings and the nature can coexist. I think we also discussed about the biosphere reserves in India. Today we will be discussing about the important ones, but quickly we will go through, because maybe you will get the questions like you will get the name of a biosphere reserve and the question may be like, to which state does it belong to? So we will quickly go through this chart once again, this map, which will give you an idea regarding the location of the biosphere reserves. Okay. So we will start from north today. I think yesterday we started from the south. So we have the Cold Desert Biosphere Reserve. We have the Nanda Devi, which is in Uttarakhand. Now coming to the northeast, we have a lot number of biosphere reserves, starting from Kanchenjunga in Sikkim, Manas in Assam, Dibru Salkhova, Nokrek. Then we have the Dehang Dibang. So these are the biosphere reserves in northeast. Then this is Madhya Pradesh. So in Madhya Pradesh, we have Pachmari, Panna. Panna is again very important for tiger reservation, etc. Then we have also this Achnakamar Amarkandak. It is also in Madhya Pradesh, the border of Madhya Pradesh. Then we have Simlipal, which is in Odisha. So here, this is Odisha, the state of Odisha. Simlipal Biosphere Reserve. Then we have Sundarbans. Again, Sundarbans is very famous and very important also, which is in West Bengal. Okay. Then in Gujarat, we have the Kutch Biosphere Reserve. Okay. Then in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we have the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. Then we have the Sheshachalam Biosphere Reserve, which is in Andhra Pradesh. And then we have Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Now Nilgiri is very, very important. Why? Because Nilgiri is in the congruence of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So it is bordering these three states. So very, very important, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Then we have the Gulf of Mannar. Then we have the Agastya Malai. So these are the biosphere reserves that we have in India. Hi Pavitra. Pavitra is asking me about my throat problem. It is still there. I think it's because of the climate. It's changing every day. Yesterday there was a rain like for 30 minutes. Then it's very hot today. So I think it's because of the climate only. And Tasdeeq. Hello. Hi Tasdeeq. Pavitra, thank you so much for asking. Okay, so yeah, these are the biosphere reserves. Now I have already shared the PPTs with you, so you can go through the PPTs, and if you are making your own notes, it's better because it's good for revision. You cannot always go through all the PPTs for revision, but if you have your own notes, it's very easy. So please try to remember the location. Why? Because it can be asked in the examination. Okay. Now let's come to the structure of a biosphere reserve. So biosphere reserve, it's divided into three areas. The first one is the core area of a biosphere reserve. Second one is a buffer zone. The third one is a transition zone. So these are the three areas in a biosphere reserve. Now the core area, it is the most protected area of a biosphere reserve, and it's kept free from human interference. Now if we take this as a, so this is the transition, then this is the buffer zone, and this is the core. Okay. Now coming to the core area. Core means the innermost part of the biosphere reserve. This is the most protected area of a biosphere reserve, and here it is kept free from human interference. It means that no human interference is allowed except in very exceptional situations, maybe for research activities, which is very important. Otherwise no human interference is allowed in the core area. We have the buffer zone which surrounds the core zone. So this is the buffer, second layer, and it includes limited tourism. So little bit of human activities are allowed but restricted, okay, not completely free. So there what all are allowed? Limited tourism, not full-fledged tourism but limited tourism, fishing, grazing, research, educational activities. So these are the human activities which are allowed in the buffer zone. Then we have the transition zone. So in the transition zone, this is the outermost part of the biosphere reserve and is the zone of cooperation where human ventures and the conservation are done in harmony. So the outermost part of the biosphere reserve is called the transition zone, and here it is called the zone of cooperation. Why? Because here the human ventures, that is human activities and the conservation of nature is done in harmony. So that's why it is called a transition zone, or what we call as a zone of cooperation. So these are the three things. Just remember it like this: core area, the innermost area, no activities allowed. Now coming outwards, that is next one is the buffer area, limited activities. The transition area, all activities. You can remember it that way. Lipika has commented, ma'am, you're suffering along many days. Yes, it's been very long. I think it's because of the climate. Hope I'll be fine soon. Cannot even go to the hospital. Okay. Thank you. Now we will come to MAB. Again, very important concept. MAB is Man and Biosphere Program. So it is under UNESCO. MAB, previously questions were asked from MAB. So it refers to Man and Biosphere Program of the UNESCO, which was launched in 1971. And it aims to establish a scientific basis for the improvement of relationships between people and the environment. So Man and Biosphere. Now the aim of this program, Man and Biosphere Reserve Program, is to improve the relationship between the man, that is the human beings, and the environment. So it aims to establish a scientific basis for the improvement of relationship between the people and their environment. So improving or establishing a scientific basis for the improvement of relationship between people and their environment. And there are total 11 biosphere reserves of India which has been recognized internationally. We have discussed about them already. Try to remember their location. Okay. Now let's come to this 11 biosphere reserves which has been recognized internationally. First one is Nilgiri, and this is the first biosphere reserve to be included in the Man and Biosphere Program. So Nilgiri, otherwise also I said it's very important. It is bordering Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Nilgiri. Then we have Sundarbans. Sundarbans is in West Bengal. Then we have Nokrak, Simlipal, Great Nicobar, Kanchenjunga, again very important because this was the latest one to be added, Kanchenjunga. Then we have Agasthyamala, Achnakumar, Amarkandak, Pachmarchi, Nanda Devi and the Gulf of Mannar. So these are the important biosphere reserves which are included in the MAB. Okay, so next we will come to Environmental Protection Act. Hi Rajaram and Rani, thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, next we will come to Environment Protection Act of 1986. Now the Environmental Protection Act, from the name itself, whenever you see the name of the legislation, then itself you will get an idea regarding what it is related to. So Environment Protection Act of 1986, this empowers the central government, the union government, to take appropriate measures to prevent and control pollution. So Environmental Protection Act is related to pollution, and here the central government is empowered to take actions to prevent and control the pollution. The Environmental Protection Act of 1986, it empowers and authorizes the central government. So in case of Wildlife Protection Act, we have seen that most of the powers are given to the state government. Here the central government has the majority of the powers. The central government is empowered and authorized to issue directions for the operation or the process, prohibition, closure or regulation of any industry. So central government is given the authority to give the directions for the operation, process, prohibition, closure or regulation of any industry. Why? Because it is to prevent and control the pollution. So Environmental Protection Act is basically to prevent and control pollution, and if any industry or if any of the industrial activity is in against this, then the central government can issue certain guidelines. Now, specific prohibition against handling hazardous substances can be given. That means specifically a particular company or a group of companies which handles the hazardous substances can be prohibited. And also the central government plans and executes the nationwide programs for the protection of environment. Basically, this is to control the pollution. So, pollution control is the main aim of the Environmental Protection Act. Okay, pollution control, 1986. I hope this is clear for you. Now Rajaram has commented, thank you for taking class in English medium. I was searching, finally got the best. Thank you so much, Raja. Your words are really inspiring for me also. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much and keep watching. Thanks a lot and all the best for you too. Okay, so if you have any doubts, let me know. Till now, if you have any doubts, otherwise, we'll go to the next one, which is the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. So, next we will be discussing about Biological Diversity Act of 2002. And if you have any doubts till now, let me know. So, objectives of the Biological Diversity Act. So, from the term itself, it is clear this is related to biodiversity. And we know what is biodiversity. Diversity of organisms or the species. Now, the objectives is conservation of biological diversity. First one is conservation of biological diversity. Second one is sustainable use of components. That is biodiversity components. So, sustainable use of the components. Third one is fair and equitable sharing of the benefits arising out of the biodiversity. Arising from the use of genetic resources. So, these are the objectives. So, conservation of biological diversity or biodiversity, sustainable use. We know what is sustainable use. That is considering the needs of the future generation as well. So, sustainable use of the components of biological diversity, then fair and equitable sharing of the genetic resources arising out of it. The Act envisages a three-tier structure to regulate access to biological resources. So, this is the three-tier structure to regulate the access to biological resources. First, we have the National Biodiversity Authority, NBA, or the National Biodiversity Authority. Then we have State Biodiversity Boards, Then we also have Biodiversity Management Committees, BMC, at the local level. So, first tier we have the national level authority, then we have the state level authority, then we have the local level authority. So, at the national level, we have the National Biodiversity Authority, state level we have the State Biodiversity Authority, and at the local level we have the Biodiversity Management Committees. Then we will be discussing about the National Action Plan on Climate Change. So, NAPCC, or the National Action Plan on Climate Change. It was launched in 2008 and it aims in creating awareness among the representatives of public, different agencies of the government, scientists, industry and the communities on the threat posed by climate change and the steps to counter it. So, National Action Plan, which means it is an action plan to tackle with the climate change. So, my throat infection is also because of the climate change. So, you know how climate change is impacting your everyday lives. So, most of you must have been victims of climate change. In some places, due to climate change, there is scarcity of water. In some places, there is excess rainfall leading to flood. Sometimes it can cause some diseases also, climate change related diseases. Then again, food insecurity or agriculture will be affected, and food insecurity, food shortages, poverty, unemployment, all these are the causes of results of climate change. Now, in order to tackle with the climate change issue, we launched a national level program which was launched in 2008, and the aim is to create an awareness among the representatives of the public. So, public representatives, different agencies of the government agencies, scientists, industry and the communities on the threat which is posed by climate change and the steps to counter it. So, this is the aim of National Action Plan on Climate Change. So, under the National Action Plan on Climate Change, we have 8 national missions. So, the first one is National Solar Mission. So National Solar Mission, it aims to generate solar energy or renewable energy. As we said, India is a solar rich country, so we have the capacity and the potential to produce solar energy. So first one is National Solar Mission, which aims to replace the non-renewable forms of energy with that of renewable forms of energy, especially the solar energy. Next one is National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. So energy efficiency of the energy that we use should be increased. Sustainable Habitat, National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. Next is National Water Mission, National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem, National Mission for Green India, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, and National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. So these are the 8 national missions. So national mission, please try to remember. I mean, even if you don't by heart the names, just try to, when you see the options, at least try to make sure that you know it's from the 8 national mission. So maybe you will get 4 or 5 options like this. And then you may have to pick up which option is belonging to the 8 national mission. So just make sure that when you see the names you can recollect. So first one is National Solar Mission, second one National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, next is Sustainable Development, Water Mission, Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem, National Mission for Green India, Sustainable Agriculture, Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. So these are the 8 national missions, and with this we have concluded this chapter, and with concluding this chapter we have completed the unit 9 of this paper 1 from your examination perspective. So I promised you that I will finish the unit 9 and 10 before exam. So 9 is already over. I think from 2-3 days onwards we will take up this next unit, that is unit 10 also. So with this we are concluding unit 9. If you have any doubts, whether it is from what we have studied from the syllabus or outside the syllabus, we will just discuss it. Or if you want me to just start with the previous year questions, that also we can do. Nothing, not a problem. So we can do anything that you wish. Now we have like another 10-15 more minutes to go for. So if you want me to stop it here, we can do that. Previous year. So these are the options you have. We can either stop the class or we can go for previous year papers next 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Or third one, we can have a general discussion, like maybe anything related to your exam, or even you can discuss your personal things if you want to. Personal things matlab ki if you have some specific issues in studying or anything, you can do. So we can do it for the next 10-15 minutes. So whatever you want we can do. Okay, so I'll take the opinion from you and I'll go for the majority. Senthil has commented, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Senthil, and I also feel very happy that you have completed your 9th one. And yeah, please do one thing now. Can you give me your suggestions how the classes went regarding unit 9? How was the classes? Did you enjoy the class, or whether I have to make any changes? So I think we can do that for the next 10 minutes. Adria has commented previous year. We will see. Okay. Lipika, after unit 10, please start research. Yes, we will do that. Research also I'll take. Let me see. I'll just talk to the team how we can manage the time and all. We will do that. Okay. And Rajaram has commented, please share the PPT. Yes. I have already shared the PPTs. I think they will upload it. I think they have already uploaded some of the PPTs. I will ask them to upload the other ones also. So, Lipika has commented, classes were very good. Thank you so much, Lipika. So others also, you can give your opinion, and based on that we will do with the unit 10 and the previous year papers. Tomorrow anyway we will start with previous years. Then after that we will come to maybe 2-3 days we will discuss the previous year questions from unit 9. Okay, because now we completed it, so immediately if we discuss it will stick on to your brains. And also please do not forget to revise before you attend the previous year sessions from tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, Puvidi has commented about the Paris Agreement. I'll do that. Then take care of your health. Thank you so much, Rajaram. Puviri, classes were useful. Thank you so much. Lipika has commented, I wish you teach every unit of paper 1. Thank you so much, Lipika. Actually, I will try to teach you like some other portions also, maybe teaching aptitude and all, because sir has already asked me to take those sessions, but I'll just try. I'll see how it goes. Okay, but may not be before this exam. Maybe for the next December batch I can do that. Rajaram, excellent. Thank you so much. Paris Agreement I'll discuss now. Okay, Puviri, I'll discuss it. I'll take the comments and then I will discuss about the Paris Agreement. So yeah, so I'll just quickly discuss about the Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement on climate change. I'm not writing everything in full sentences. One thing is I cannot write with this mouse. Second thing, not to waste the time. Okay, so the Paris Agreement, we signed it in the year 2016. So Paris Agreement came into being in 2016. And there are 195 signatories to Paris Agreement. And this Paris Agreement comes under the aegis of UNFCCC. We have already seen what is UNFCCC. Okay, so yeah. And this Paris Agreement is also known as COP21 because we have discussed about the UNFCCC and we said that COP or the Conference of Parties is the highest level decision making body. So this was the 21st COP or the Conference of Parties. That is why it is called COP21 or the Paris Agreement. It was held in Paris. That's why the name Paris Agreement. So here the countries committed regarding their their own national level contributions to tackle with the climate change. So basically the first thing about the Paris Agreement is that it is a multilateral agreement. We know what is a multilateral agreement. Many countries or the country heads, the governments, they come together, agree upon something. So basically this is a multilateral agreement. So this is the first point about the Paris Agreement. Second one, it comes under the UNFCCC. So it comes under UNFCCC, which means the United Nations Framework for Convention on Climate Change. Now the purpose or the objectives, objectives is to mitigate or to, we can say, reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Now why greenhouse gas emissions are given importance? Because we have seen with regard to greenhouse gases that greenhouse gases are responsible for keeping the earth's surface warm, and a particular percentage of greenhouse gases is important also. But the thing is that when the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, when the quantity increases, what it will lead to global warming, or what we call as increase in the temperature. So this increase in the temperature or the global warming will lead to climate change. So in the COP21 or the Paris Agreement, the parties have agreed to take national level measures to reduce the or to mitigate the greenhouse gas emissions. So this is about the COP21 or the Paris Agreement. Okay, so this is related to climate change. And yeah, Puviri, I hope it's clear for you. Any doubts you can ask. Atira, very good class, and then thank you so much. Thank you, Atira. And Lipika, I'm from December batch, then you can attend your, yes, if you are attending for the December batch, then by that time I'll be able to cover many of the topics, whatever I can teach from unit, paper 1, whatever is possible from my side, I will complete that before December, that is for sure. But for September we have hardly like 20 more days to go, so considering the limitations, maybe I'll try to do my best, but then maybe there are some limitations. Okay, Lipika has commented, get well soon. Thank you so much, Lipika. Atira has commented, can you cover unit 10 and research paper before September? I'm trying to do that. At least unit 10 and research paper I will try to cover before the September exams. And Puviri has commented, thank you and clear. Okay, thank you, Puviri. Pooja has commented, very good class. Thank you, Pooja. And Das, hi Das. So yeah, And anything else? We have like 5 more minutes or something. And how is your other classes going? And how is your paper 2 preparations going? Are you doing from your side? How is your paper 2 and other classes going? So let me know about that also. Then anything else from your side if you want to know. Any personal questions also I'll take up. Okay. So no other questions, no other queries. So should we wind up now? Ma'am, paper 2 preparation is going on, but have a lot of subjects. So all of you are from computer science background. Anybody else from any other background, paper 2, or all are from computer science background only? So Lipika, do well. You can do it because you are giving the December attempt, no? So December batch. So you can do it. Even I had no plans of giving NET exams, but after taking classes for this NET exams, then I was thinking, okay, I will also try to give an attempt. I have not given NET attempt any time, but this time for the December batch, I am trying to give an attempt for NET exams. So I think nothing. Okay, what do you think? What should be the strategy in such less days? So Lipika, are you giving in September also? Are you giving the exams? So I think if you have very less days left, I think you can just stick on to the class notes for paper 1, not to go for extra reading, and focus more on your paper 2 because the weightage is double in your paper 2. So you can just revise and then I think that will be sufficient. Make you maximum use of the time. Don't waste your time now. Hardly 20 more days left. Paper 2, make sure you have an edge over it. And paper 1 is very important because most of the students, they score very less in paper 1 because it's completely out of what you have learned in your paper 2. So paper 1 also try to make an edge. And in paper 1, most of the questions is, I have seen many questions are from unit 9, 10, then teaching aptitude, some logical reasoning questions. You can go through the previous year papers. That will be the best thing to do now. And you can see the pattern of questions being asked. That will give you an advantage. I will discuss it in the class. Previous years definitely we will discuss before the exams. So Rajaram, English literature. Okay. Senthil, computer science and December batch. Okay. Lipika. Okay. So I think we will wind up now for today. Tomorrow we will meet again at 7:30. So tomorrow we will take up the previous year questions. So that's what we will do tomorrow onwards. Okay. I'll keep updating you regarding new things that we will be covering, like new modules that we will start. I'll see you again. Study really, really well, but don't take too much of tension and all. Be very cool, calm, be relaxed, do well, and also have lots of water. I'll say because it's the climate is very bad, so have lots of water, and that can keep you immune from many diseases. So keep safe, study hard, and pray well. I'll tell you, pray well, because even though you are an atheist, I will tell you to do some meditation or yoga. So yeah, all these things you can do to keep yourself calm and cool. So study well. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Good night.